One of the things I realize is the hardest things for business owners to do is to let go. Although that sounds like such a simple thing to do, many times as a business owner, when you have years and years, in some cases even decades of owning a business, of running a business, you think you know everything about your business. And although that may be the case, there is a limitation that you have had in many cases. And many of these business owners have hit a ceiling. They've been in the ceiling for decades and they think they know everything and they know how to do better and how not to do better, right? And they think they have full control of everything. But the reality is that if they sit back and they look at their situation, they'll realize that they have hit this ceiling, they have stayed in this ceiling because they don't know how to get to a better place. They don't know how to use technology and systems to surpass the situation that they're in now. And many times that is the hardest thing. It is a personal character struggle where you have to let go so that you can begin to reach the levels that you can't reach by yourself. You can't reach by your own knowledge. You need to be able to let go and begin to relinquish that and let go of that control and understanding that you don't have full control of everything. The fact of the matter is, if you refuse to sacrifice your control, your business will never grow past the place that you have taken it to this point. And I don't want to shoot down what you have done. I think it's awesome what you have done. But the fact of the matter is that to take it to another level, to take it to the next step, you need to be able to sacrifice the control that you currently have over your business. The reality is that the blue collar workers and business owners that own a mechanic shop or a plumbing shop or HVAC shop or any type of company along the blue collar line, they generally struggle with this aspect of things. They don't full control. There's some level of pride. I'm telling you because of the fact that I grew up in a business owner's house. I was a blue collar worker, and they're hard workers. They're naturally people that want to do everything that themselves and that want to get things done, and that think that their way of doing things is always the best way of doing things. They know their business because they trust their own sweat. They know the tears they went through it. They know the pain they went through it. They know the sacrifice that they have put into it. And because of all of that, they know that the way they have done things has brought them to the success that they have reached. And if they're going to reach further success, it is going to be through their own sacrifice. They are people that are wired fully to be full of grit, to be people that are working hard and to never give up. But this becomes the very ceiling that traps them. Their own hard work, their own sacrifice, that own mentality that they have is the thing that traps them into the place that they, in many places, have been complacently sitting in for many, many years. Again, it is because of the fact that although their intentions are great, the reality is that they don't have full control of everything. They don't know necessarily what is the best place to get to and how to get to that best place because they have run things the same way for many years. And I want to speak to the business owners, those blue collar business owners, quickly. The reality is that you think that nobody can handle your leads the way you handle your leads. No one can handle your customers, your clients the way you handle them. No one is going to be willing, speaking on the customer side, no customer is going to be willing to talk to an employee because they have to talk to the business owner. And while in some cases that may be the truth, especially when we're talking about the client not being willing to speak to an employee, although that may be possibly true, the fact of the matter is that if you give it time, if you train employees, you will begin to realize that they can do it too. It's not only you that can do it. The problem here is that business owners that are used to putting in sacrifice, used to putting in work, feels like no one is going to be willing to do the same level of work that they do with the same quality of work that they put in. So if that is your mentality, the reality is you're never going to do what's called delegating. Every single good leader is someone that can delegate. You must learn how to delegate if you want to be a good leader. And I know, while the fact of the matter is that this leadership topic is a topic that is covered many times by some of the great leadership people out there, the John Maxwell's, the John Lencioni's, and all these type of people. The reality is that blue collar workers aren't really looking into leadership as one of the skills that they have to work on. They're simply putting in the work. They're simply going out there and building their business and sacrificing blood and tears just to reach to the level that they've reached to. And they don't sit back and think about the skills that they need to work on. And if you really think about it, if you're a business owner, you are a leader. You have people under you that depend on you to be able to look at the next step of how to do things, how to be told what is it that I do and don't have to do. And when you develop the skills of leadership, you will begin to develop your own employees. You'll begin to develop your own shop and improve that ceiling that you have hit as a shop. So I encourage those business owners out there, work on your leadership skills. Don't just stay stagnant, expecting to get better as a leader, expecting to get better as a business owner without improving on those skills that must be improved on, especially when it comes to leadership. So look back. If you are one of those people that says to yourself, I can do it myself, that maybe unconsciously says to yourself, I can do it myself, then you need to sit back and realize delegating is an important thing that all good leaders do. Now, let me clarify. There is some level of truth to all of this because, yes, no one is going to do it like you. But that doesn't mean that no one can produce what you produce, even though they may do it differently. This ego of nobody can do it like me in many cases is costing business owners hundreds of thousands of dollars at scale. Why? Because they have to do everything themselves and they're only one person. When you can delegate to multiple people, you can begin to let go of the things that are maybe not as important to you, that are maybe not as top priority to you, and you can begin to do the things that you as a business owner really should be focusing on instead of having to do the things that realistically speaking aren't as important for you to do. The reality is that you don't need a clone of yourself. You don't need to sit down and try to make someone that is just like you. You need to make someone that can do the job, that is capable of doing the job. Even if their way is different than yours, as long as they're able to do the job, as long as they're able to do it successfully, it doesn't matter how it is that they get there. Although that may be important, it doesn't matter what it is that they have to do or how they do it specifically. What matters most is always going to be the end result. But I get it. We do want a level of control of how things are being done, and that is okay. I'm not saying that you can't do certain things and expect certain things out of your employees or the people under you, but as a leader that you are, you have to understand that everybody does things in a different way. The important thing is for them to get it done. Stop expecting someone that's going to do things exactly as you're going to do it. That is the issue that is going on in the first place, that you want someone to do things exactly as you do it, and you're never going to get there. And the reality is that because you want someone to do exactly like you do, then you're never going to be able to delegate. You have to relinquish that control, that pride, and you have to begin to sacrifice your own self so you can begin to grow other people. But on top of that, so that you can begin to delegate and begin to not only grow them, but also grow yourself. Because as you begin to delegate, you will begin to be able to focus on the things that matter most. That's how you grow. That's how you grow yourself, and that's how you grow your business. Stop doing the same things you have done time and time again and expecting different results. I always say this. If you want different results, do something different. So don't count on doing the same thing, never delegating and expecting to produce something in your business that is completely different. It's never going to happen. So delegate. Leaders, business owners out there, develop those leadership skills and delegate. Let go and begin to allow people to grow with you. The fact of the matter is that many business owners out there have to step back and begin to realize that owning a business is leadership. You do have to make them one, because when you own a business, you are very much a leader. And I know I said that again, but I want to emphasize it. But I also want you to remember that if you want to be an owner, that is able to do CEO stuff, that is able to live like a CEO, you need to stop working as an operator. What do I mean by that? If you're a business owner of a car mechanic shop, you need to begin to stop doing brake pads, stop doing changing brakes, stop changing oil, stop going and diagnosing cars, and begin to do what CEOs do. Delegate others to do that. Trust on others to do that, or teach them to do it, and then you can begin to do the CEO things. You can begin to be in the office and manage the things that really require your focus as a business owner. You can begin to do things that are more heavy instead of doing things that are day-to-day things to maintain the shop. I understand that at some point as a business owner, you were doing operational stuff. I understand that at some point as a business owner, you were making sure that the cars were being taken care of, and you were changing brakes, and you were doing oil, and there's a time and place for that as a business owner where you have to do some of that work as well. But there comes a point where your business requires you to begin to focus on the things that only the owner can do. You need to dedicate time to that. You need to dedicate time to how to improve on yourself and how to improve your business. And that is what a CEO does. If you continue being an operator and continue doing the things of an operator, then don't expect differently. What you're going to get is mediocre results because you're just another operator. The business doesn't really have a full-time CEO. When your business has a full-time CEO, then your ceiling begins to break. The ceiling that has kept you trapped in begins to break, and you begin to get above it. So begin to delegate. Understand that delegating is a skill that not everyone has, and it is not something that you should be scared of or something that you should not do because the fact you think is going to fail. Delegating has proven to be a skill that if you want to be able to get to another level of leadership, you want to be able to build whatever you're working on to another level, you need to be willing to delegate. So whether you're a business owner, whether you are a leader in an organization, whether you're a leader within any context that you may be in, you need to understand that if you're not willing to delegate, you're not willing to grow. Be willing to be open to this. Be willing to let go of that and sacrifice so that you can grow to another level. I have said it before, but one of the things I love so much about a camp that I did a long time ago when I was a kid is that the title of the camp said, "No sacrifice, no victory." And I believe very much in the idea and the concept that if you are willing to sacrifice, then you will begin to taste victory. You need to be able to have a certain level of pain to have a certain level of gain. I know that many people know that phrase and know these things, but remember it. You have to stop working in the business to work on it. That is such a beautiful and important concept to understand as a business owner. If you work in the business, then you have no time to work on it, or you have at least less time to work on it. If you are exhausted from being the bottleneck in your own business and you are finally ready to begin to let the system do the heavy lifting for you, click the link below. Let's install a machine for you that works for you and that you don't have to work for it. Let's begin to build a system that can help you in working on it instead of working in it. So begin to develop yourself, begin to develop your leadership skills, begin to delegate. And don't forget, if you like this content, then begin to subscribe below or comment or give it a like, or you can always DM me. If you want more information and you would like installing a system that can help you work on your business and not work in it, then contact me through santosfinancialstrategy.com. And again, you can comment or like below. And remember, your path to freedom is found here.